I'm not saying you could. You wouldn't kill her.
Hi, welcome in. Oh shoot, hold on, this TV's loud. Just turn it off. Welcome. Sorry, I forgot to turn the TV off. Hi from Texas. Hi. I am originally from Delaware, but I currently reside in South Carolina. Welcome. I'm glad to have you. Excited Creations, I like that name. I'm gonna have to send you a follow. I don't know how to do it yet. I'm just waiting just a couple more minutes. I'm not gonna be long today. Today we're gonna talk a little bit about kombucha. Okay, good. Now I'll go ahead and follow you back as well. Some of the people that were, hey Sean, hey friend. We're gonna talk a little bit about kombucha and how to make it so that you can have a healthy drink at a fraction of the cost instead of paying all that money to buy it in the store. Actually, I looked at it the other day in Walmart and it was $4.69 for a 10-ounce bottle. That's 10 ounces. Excuse me. So I am feeling a little congested, which I don't often feel that way. So I'm actually drinking my pineapple, grapefruit, and orange drink for now, and just to try to ease up my chest. And we're going to talk about a little bit about some more fermented drinks that I make, and I'm going to show you some other fermented drinks I make. Actually, let me grab one more fermented thing. Hold on. Because I don't just make drinks. All right. Anyway. I know two people that wanted to learn and not here yet. So they may have to go back and read the, I don't know why my comments are not staying up this time. Replay. Hi, Miss Karen. I was wondering where you were. Excuse me. Like I said, I'm a little congested. Yeah, and I normally put my ginger in it, but, oh, got lipstick on me. I don't like to drink even too much ginger, so I'm going to have some ginger tea. So I decided not to put the ginger in it this time, but typically I put the ginger in there as well. And I'm actually going to change my diet a little bit because I think it would help getting more of that mucus out. And we can talk about that at the end. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so what is kombucha? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be addicted because I'm telling you, it is addictive. I promise you. I don't care what brand you use. Once you start, it's going to be a little addictive. Now, I will say this. I harass Sean for her juice. She has the Nama J2. Now, the only reason why I started harassing her for it because sister friend went and got herself some dual citizenship. So I'm like, you can't take everything with you when you go there, so you might as well give up that juicer. And like, that's just one less thing you have to take to your new country. So I started harassing her for her Nama J2. So of course she's not partying with that Nama J2. So I went and got the first one, being cheap, instead of getting what my husband told me I can get. I was wearing you down. I went the cheap route and got the first one, and I regret I should have just went on and got the two. But to be honest with you, I still use it all the time. It doesn't stop. I'll be fussing at it all the time. We be having arguments while I'm juicing. She is not respecting me, but I still use her. So it is what it is. She just makes me put in more work. Excuse me. Oh man. So what is kombucha? I always have fun with y'all, always. I have more fun with y'all over here on YouTube than I ever did on TikTok. I want y'all to know that. So what is kombucha? Kombucha is nothing but a fermented black or green tea sugar drink. That's all it is. It is fermenting black tea and or green tea. Now I know a lot of people like to say it came from Asia. I'm not really sure the origins. I did try to look it up. There's no real clear distinction or as to where it really came from. However, I know it really hit here in the United States back in like the mid 2000s. It became really big. It became a huge trend where everybody was buying it. At the time when it first came out, I did not like it personally. I didn't care what brand I tried. It was just too bitter, too strong, too sour for me. So it wasn't until Boathouse actually came out with their brand is when I started liking it. But I was that person. I would go to the train station every day on the way to work, and I was buying two, not one, but two. And so I had to buy me the green drink, and then I was buying me the kombucha. So and when I started looking at it, I'm like, I'm paying $10, $11 for just a drink every day. And mind you, I still had to buy my coffee. So I still had my cup of coffee. And so I was like, this is just too much, so I'm going to learn how to make it. And so that's what I did. I started doing a lot of research. And one of the reasons why I felt like I knew I could make it is because I was already in the process of making wine. So this is my own homemade wine that I made. Now this right here is over a year and a half, maybe 2 years old now. So this is a mixed berry wine that I made. It's nothing but fruit wine. It's nothing but mixed berries. So what I personally do is I buy frozen mixed berries, and then I bring them to room temperature, and then I ferment those. And making wine is fermented as well, but it's just fermented with yeast and sugar. You have to have sugar. And so I didn't like wine from the grocery stores, or from like restaurants and things like that. So that's also what made me start making this. But this is my very own blend. So this is actually the first thing that I started learning how to ferment, was my very own wine. And here it is in a glass. So I poured it in the glass so you can see it. And see how clear it is? Because I was able to make sure I filtered it so it could be really, really clear. And later on, I'll do another in-depth video about that so that you can see how that process is. Because when you're making it for home, it's not illegal. You are able to make it. So another thing I actually like to make, thank you, is I like to make my own apple cider vinegar. And if you can look, you can see the mother. That's the mother. So it doesn't look exactly the same in the grocery store. It doesn't, yes, please. Smash that like button. Yes, let me say this. I'm sorry. For everybody that's new, welcome to my page. I am the owner and operator of Copper Hues Collections. You can go to www.copperhuecollections and get into your skincare and hair care products. Where I also put up, now we have some categories on my website where I'm now adding planners and also my tumblers. And if you look at my background, we have these tumblers here also for sale for just in time for Valentine's Day. And by the end of the day, I'll have the rest of the Valentine's kit up on the website as well. And if you're returning, you know how I feel about you. Thank you for returning and supporting your girl. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn your notification bells on so you'll know when I'm going live next or dropping a video or a post. And Sean, don't forget to drop your links also. Don't forget to Also go over there to All Things Sean for your sewing, embroidery, rhinestones, you name it. She does juicing. She does lifestyle. She does traveling. She does some of everything. That's why her channel is called All Things Sean, because she does all things. And drop your links as well, Sean. But I make my own apple cider vinegar. So this was made last year, not this year, but this was made last year in August. Last year. But like I said, you can see the mother is in here. You want to keep that mother in there. And this is simply just taking apples and fermenting them. And we'll do an in-depth video about this as well. But I make my own. It's not as acidic as store-bought. So you don't have to worry about it being completely sour. But that's another thing. And we also make cabbage and different things of the nature. But one of my favorites, I gotta have my own pickles. My husband and I love making our own pickles. We keep pickles, pickles do not, fermented drinks for one does not expire. Whether it's a fermented drink that needs to be refrigerated or not. Now, the only reason why I refrigerate this one is because I do kind of like a little chill, but do you know pickles do not have to go in the refrigerator? Those ones you buy from the store, they do. That's why they say refrigerator after open, but ones you make yourself do not technically have to go in the refrigerator because it's fermented, so it's already preserved. And so we make this as well. And these are crunchy. I made these last year as well, but I made several of these, so that's why we still just have one left. Oh my God, so I will definitely do one because this is my last one. I usually have more than one in the refrigerator. I'm on the last bottle, so I need to start the next bottle, so we'll do a video on making that as well. And then I'll put the what you need to make it up, so y'all can go and get y'all's ingredients and y'all can make it along with me. How about that? So now back to the kombucha. Like I said, kombucha is nothing but a fermented green tea or black tea. Now you'll see people using herbal teas and things of that nature. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, that's a 100% no. That is not kombucha. You will not get the same results making kombucha with herbal teas because that's not what it was designed for. And actually, most kombuchas are simply made with black tea. Now, when I make my kombucha, I've made both. I made it just black tea. I've made green tea. I like a combination of the two. I make mine with black and green tea mixed together. To me, that gives off the best flavor because black tea is a little bit bitter and it's strong, and I think the green tea balances that out. So I do mine in my stainless steel. You definitely want to use a stainless steel pot. You don't want to boil your tea. And I mean, you can use a cast iron, but if you have a stainless steel, that's better. And you definitely don't want to use like the porous cast irons, which are the black ones. And you absolutely 100% have to have glass. You absolutely have to have glass. Anything fermented cannot be fermented in plastic because what you're doing is you're introducing those chemicals that's in plastic into your products. Everything must be fermented no matter what it is in glass. So today though, I decided I'm not going to make green or black tea kombucha. Instead, I am making coffee. And so I already brewed it. I'm going to do coffee bucha. It's called coffee bucha. So what I did is I just did the same thing. I put, some spring water. And let me say that. You have to use spring water. Please don't use tap water, y'all, or use some distilled water because you don't want to introduce the forever chemicals into your healthy bacteria that kombucha becomes. Because kombucha is something that actually is for good gut health. So if you're having gut issues, kombucha is one of the drinks like sauerkraut, pickles, yogurt, because that's what yogurt is. It's a fermented, it's fermented as well. It's a fermented milk, kefir, all those things are fermented and they're to provide you with good health. So what they do is they get rid of the bad bacteria that are in your stomach and it replaces it with the healthy bacteria that your stomach needs to digest and move along your food properly. So what I did was, I didn't measure it. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Excuse me. 1 second. I didn't think that was going to happen while we were on live, but I almost canceled it. But I was like, nope. My supporters are good to me, so I'm not, because I'm so congested today. But anyway, so already, I didn't measure this one. So when I normally make mine in this jar here, I normally make mine with 6 black tea bags and 6 green tea bags is what I use. That's the measurements. And so now what you have to use is sugar. So let's talk about that. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. I do see some new people came in. Welcome in. Like the live, share the live, hit the notification bell, and subscribe. When you're fermenting, you have to use white sugar. Let me say this. You have people that will say, well, can I use coconut sugar because I don't use white sugar? Can I use date sugar? You can use whatever you want to use, but are you going to get the right results? No, you're just not. There's only one other substitute that you can use when fermenting something, which is when you're fermenting wine, is you can use honey. That is called mead. When you're making a honey, if you're making a wine and you're using honey, or if you're making liquor and you're using honey, the process of using honey is called a mead. If you're making wine and you're using sugar, that's called a mash. Other than honey, if you're not making a mead, you cannot, well, I shouldn't say that. You can use what you want, but you will not have the same results in using any substitute sugar other than white sugar. The sugar does not stay in the end result. Again, the sugar is not in the end results. The sugar is needed for the yeast or whatever you're using to ferment, to feed off of. But at the end of your mash or your mead or whatever you're fermenting, the sugar is gone. And all you're left with is what you're creating. So you absolutely have to have white sugar. So if you're going to get something, and this is, I want to say this is 4 quarts. This is about 4 quarts right here. I only use 1 cup of white sugar. That's it. Now, there's 2 ways of making kombucha. I will say this. If you don't want to start with the tea bags, because what happens is you'll buy the tea bags and you'll go ahead and put your sugar in it. And after you put your sugar in it, you're not going to do anything else. Mind you, you have to take the tea. I'm sorry, let me go back. Make sure you remove your tea bags first. Then you add your sugar while it's still warm so you can melt your sugar. But you have to bring your liquid, whatever you're using, up to room temperature first before we go on to the next step. You can just wrap it up, take some cheesecloth, take some paper towels. You can even use a dish towel or whatever and cover it. And in approximately 7 to 15 days, or depending on the temperature in your dark area that you're putting it could take up to 21 days. But anywhere I say from 7 to 21 days, the mother will grow on the top, just like it grew on the top of here. The difference is your mother is going to be about the size of the instrument that you're using to make your kombucha. Or if you're absolutely new and you don't want to wait for that, there is a product you can buy. Let me grab my scissors. You can actually buy your mother. You can actually get it off Amazon. There are places that are reputable on there. More than likely, that's the only place you're going to get it. Or you're going to have to find someone who already has mothers that are really willing to sell them. So before I moved here, I had 7 mothers. And I was so upset because I put them on Facebook and Instagram. I didn't put it on TikTok, I don't know why. But unfortunately, no one wanted to buy them, or nobody brought them. Maybe they didn't even see it. So I actually had to throw away 7 mothers. Mothers do not go up bad as long as you keep her fed. And I'll tell you how you keep them fed. But you can easily go on Amazon, and I know it's backwards. I haven't figured out how to flip it right. The mother's inside of here. So this is mine. I'm going to open up and I'm going to show you. Matter of fact, no. Hold on a second. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch it. Give me a second. Because I was going to touch it, but I forgot. I got lotion on my hands, so I don't want to do that. So let me open this and show you what the mother looked like. Any other time I would be touching it. So it is slimy. And it will grow over and over and over. Some people call them, once it grows on top of each other, they call it the babies, but it's still a SCOBY. It's still all the same thing. The mother is simply a SCOBY. And let me pull up that term because I don't really remember. I know it's symbiotic something. So let me pull up the definition. Give me 1 second. What is this? So it's technically called a SCOBY. A SCOBY is, hold on, because it's a living bacteria and yeast. So let's get the full definition. Because SCOBY is an acronym. Oh, come on. I should have that pulled up. Of course, nobody has it. All right, what I'll do is I'll put it in my description. I used to be able to roll it off my tongue. Symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. So it's S-C-O-B-Y. S-C-O-B-Y. Symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. That's all it is. And so, or you'll hear some people say mother, as you've heard me refer to it as. Now, the only bad thing about this one, it's going to take a little lot longer for my SCOBY to grow because I bought one off of Amazon. And I bought this actually probably all back in like August. And I just didn't make it initially because I found out that after I bought it, I found out that I wasn't supposed to have it according to my blood type. So it had been sitting. So in that kit that I brought, and I think I paid $20 for it, they already provided you with the tea and they already provided you with the tea bags. I'm personally not going to use this because, like I said, I'm making coffee this time. But this is what the SCOBY looks like. So someone already grew it. That's it. This is a SCOBY. That's it. So I'm just simply going to put my SCOBY in my coffee. Now, I will say this. If you decide that you want to make a coffee SCOBY, SCOBYs can be used in any flavor kombucha you're ever going to make. However, if you end up making a coffee SCOBY, you can never use that for a tea. Because trust me, your tea SCOBY will taste like coffee. Now, this is called the starter liquid. Although I'm making a coffee, I still need to add this in here with this SCOBY because this is going to provide all the benefits. So I do need to add that as well, right? I have to, because if I don't, that SCOBY is not going to reproduce itself. But that's simply all a SCOBY is. And what will happen is I'll do another live, once it actually grows another one, and I'll come back and I'll show you. Honestly, these actually can be taken apart. You can rip them apart. You actually can blend this up. You can eat this because this is good bacteria. It provides you all the nutrients you need for your gut health. So I will end up doing the same thing with this. I will take this, although the SCOBY is already there now, we still need for this to ferment. All I have to do is now is wrap this, and I know y'all can't see because I got it pulled down up. Wrap this with my cheesecloth. And what I like to do, and I need to pull you down some a little bit. Let me do that. Let me see if I can I got it sitting up. Let me pull you down. So what I do is I just take in, because you have to wrap it, because if you don't wrap it, you will have flies. You will have fruit flies and things like that. You can just wrap it. I like to take some twine, which sometimes it's a little hard to do because it doesn't want to stay on. Let me just cut a long piece. I just like to take some twine. Actually, I've never done it. I've never done it. That's why I said I'll show y'all how to do it so y'all can start doing it because it's not hard. It's not hard. It just takes patience. That's all. And you just put some twine or some string or a rubber band if that's what goes around. You just cover this up so no fruit flies get in there. And I'll put this in my cabinet. Now, what I like to do is I like to put it in a cabinet that is not used often so that the light, because it has to stay away from light. So I'll put it in a cabinet that's not open and closed as often. That way it's not getting a lot of sunlight. You definitely have to keep this out of sunlight. You cannot sit on your counter or anything like that. Now, like I said, this will grow a little bit faster because I've already introduced a SCOBY to it. However, if I wanted to grow my own SCOBY, it will take anywhere from 10 to 21 days. Like I said, it just depends on your temperature of your cabinet, your home, and how dark that place is. Now, I've seen people take and cover up their whole entire jar. I don't find that to be necessary. I've been doing this for many years now, so I don't find that to be necessary. All you need, this has to breathe, which is why you can't put a lid. Do not put the lid that comes with your instrument on it. You have now just smothered the mother. It has to breathe, which is why I suggest either a dish towel, a washcloth, cheesecloth, or something of that sort. Something that allows it to breathe. That is what causes it to ferment. Just the same way you would do if you was making cabbage or pickles or anything. You let it breathe. So what happened is, like I said, for this one, I don't know because it's small. So don't quote me. And this is also my first time making coffee. I'm used to making a mixture, I told you. So I'm thinking in about 10 days, when we come back, I should have a mother in about 10 days. Now, the thing is, the mother may only be that small mother that you just seen, or she may be a very thin mother that would be the size of this. Because the liquid that I put in there is going to bind this up together. It's going to bind to that SCOBY that's in there. It's going to bind this up together, and it's going to grow. And then the more you keep fermenting, the larger the SCOBY gets, or the thicker the SCOBY gets. So what happens is that when I get the SCOBY that I want, I'm now going to take that SCOBY, I'm going to peel the layers. You can keep whatever one you want and put back in for your next batch. But you must always keep your SCOBY in some starter liquids, meaning some of the liquid that you just created. You don't want to start a whole new batch and use that liquid. So when I go to start bottling this up, I'm going to save a little bit of this liquid. I always say about a cup or two, depending on how big your SCOBY is, for your next batch. That SCOBY will never go bad as long as it never goes dry. It only goes bad if you allow it to dry. It cannot be too hot, and it cannot be too cold or dried out, or your SCOBY is no longer good. But that is all. Like I said, you just simply need tea and some sugar. Now, what I can do once I start growing SCOBY, since I'm starting off from scratch, I can start selling the SCOBY and tea in a bag. Not a little bit different than this, but I can start selling the tea and the SCOBYs, the starters. I can start doing that, so you can do it yourself. Because it's just like having to bottle it up and send it, and you got to worry about the bottles not breaking and things of that nature. But it is really that simple. It is not a complicated process. It's just a long process. So this is technically the first phase. There are 3 phases to making kombucha. This is the first fermenting stage. The second fermenting stage, what we'll get to in about a week or so, is when you're going to then take, like I said, your mother out. You're going to strain it. You're going to put it into the bottles. And what you're going to do is you're going to add your flavoring. Now, it depends on how it tastes. I tell everybody to do a taste test on your own kombucha and make sure it's where you like it, because you may like yours a little bit bitter. You may like yours a little bit sweeter. I thought I was going to like it sweeter until I started tasting it or making it myself, and I found that I liked it a little bit more bitter than actually sweet. And so what I do is for your second fermenting, you can take like a tablespoon, anywhere from a teaspoon to a tablespoon of sugar. You're going to put it at the bottom of the bottle, and you're going to put whatever fruit in there you want. You can add pineapples, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, oranges. Now, I will say the citrus fruits do not work as good as sweet fruits. You will have better results using blueberries, strawberries, and things of that nature. Now, I've been successful with pineapples, but I have not been successful with oranges. So I will never do another orange one. I did try it to see how it works. It didn't work. But you can add whatever fruit you want to add. You don't even have to add fruit. I love lavender. Lavender kombucha has to be my #1 favorite. Absolute favorite. You can ferment with chamomile. You can ferment with any herbs you want to ferment. One of my other favorites is using elderberries, the real elderberries. I love elderberry kombucha. So there are many things that you can use to sweeten your kombucha. So once you bottle that, you will still, though, now those bottles will actually go on the counter. That's called your second fermenting process. And what you do is you will, and we'll go over this again, you'll burp those bottles every single day. Every day you'll burp those bottles. You don't shake them, because if you shake those bottles, you're going to have an explosion. Because remember, at this time, we're now at that phase, we're doing the carbonation stage, which is the second fermenting process. And so you want to make sure that when you buy bottles, when you go on Amazon, which is the best place to get them, it's going to be the cheapest, excuse me. Excuse me. You want to make sure that those glass bottles are for fermenting. If they are not for fermenting, they will explode. I promise you. I haven't had the issue because I've always recycled mine. So as I was buying my kombucha bottles, I was keeping them because I knew I was getting ready to start making it. So I started collecting them way back when we were in Chicago when I started. And so I'm guaranteed to know that those bottles are for fermenting. There's also flip top bottles you can buy. There's amber glass jars, which I will tell you are the best if you can buy amber, because you're definitely keeping the sunlight off your bottles. However, just make sure that whatever you do, make sure those bottles are for fermenting. Do your research, because you do not want to have glass going everywhere, because it definitely will. Because the carbonation will build up in the bottles. But that's it. Tea, sugar, and a starter is all you need to make kombucha. That's it. It's that simple. Y'all have any questions? It's really that simple. I promise you. This coffee smells so good, y'all. I chose to do coffee because I'm a coffee drinker. And okay, so let me tell you why. So we'll have a little chit chat. At the last minute, which was this morning, I said to my husband, I said, I'm not going to make a tea. I was about to get up in the cabinet because my green tea and black coffee is up at the top cabinet. I said, I'm going to make coffee. Because I decided, because I'm still struggling with a lot of this mucus in me, that I'm going to go on a fruit diet. All fruit, no vegetables this time. Normally I do fruit and vegetables. So, reason why, let's talk about it for a quick second. I was sitting back thinking last night. I'm always studying. If I'm laying across the bed, whatever, I'm always researching something. And what happened was, there was a conversation I had night before last on live, and we were talking about, eating and things of that nature. And it's that simple. It is that simple. Wait till you find out the second phase as well. It's really that simple. It's like I said, it's just long. It can take anywhere. The total process can take anywhere up to it can take up to we say 30 days. It can take about a month. But think about this. Once you have your starter and you've gotten that first mother, it's only going to be about approximately 15 days from that point on. Every next batch you make after this first initial batch is going to be about max of 15 days. I usually say between 10 and 15 days for each batch thereof. And it will be continuous and continuous and continuous and continuous. You can make sure you never run out. Had I not moved, I would not have had to start this process over. I wouldn't have had to run out. I only ran out because, like I said, I knew it wasn't going to keep in a hot. It was spring. It was about to be summer. I knew that mother, even being in the liquid, would dry out and would not keep in the with the movers. So it wasn't worth trying to keep it. So that's the only reason why I got rid of it. Had I had something big enough and could gauge it, I would have never thrown away my mother's, but I knew they wouldn't survive. So I just was like, well, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to start over. But I was sitting back thinking, and something, a thought popped in my head, because I'm always thinking about something. And I said, we were talking about fruit and vegetables, how people don't know that squash is a fruit and cucumbers are fruit and tomatoes are fruit and things of that nature. And I may say this incorrectly, but I think it's called croficnous vegetables, which is broccoli, cauliflower, spinach falls under that. I believe, I know cabbage falls underneath that. These are vegetables that technically are very poisonous. I don't know if y'all know that. Those vegetables are not, it's like 7 of them. they're not technically supposed to be eaten raw. Now, if you have a thyroid issue, they're especially dangerous for you. You shouldn't even be eating them even if you cook them. And oftentimes we have these issues and we don't know because we actually don't go to like the proper, oh, my baby said I'm doing a great job, y'all. He's off today. You know, we don't go to the right nutritionist because we don't go to holistic doctors and practitioners and things. And that's where we were talking. That was the subject we were on. I was telling them how I want to be a holistic practitioner. And that's what I was going for before we moved, before we left Utah. I was going back to school because I wanted to get my master's in herbalism. I didn't want to just stay as, just being an herbalism. I wanted to have my master's, and I wanted to be a holistic practitioner because I know so much already from studying it personally that I wanted to be certified. And so welcome in. Hope you're enjoying this live. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn the notification bell on so you'll be notified of my next video, post, or live. But so I got to thinking about that. I got to thinking about vegetables because we were talking about these vegetables. And I said, you know what? When a person goes into a comatose state, what is the term? And I had to ask my husband this. I said, babe, what is the term that they call that? And he said, a vegetable state. And the reason why I thought about this because an argument ensued on the live. And the argument was that once you remove fruit and vegetables from its natural source, it dies. Because a young lady was like, y'all are eating Bambi, and Bambi has feelings, and Bambi is living, and y'all are unaliving Bambi. Dear, you're unaliving Bambi. And so I said, honestly speaking, once you pick your fruit and pull the vegetables out from the root, they're unalived as well. So it's the same thing. Yeah, that's it. Yes. Thank you, Sean. It's in the comments. And so, and it's another one. It's spelled like crucifixion. There's another one. There's another term. It's spelled almost like crucifixion, which also caught my attention because the word is spelled so similar to crucifixion, and it's pronounced almost the same way. If you can find that one for me, please. And so I thought about that, and I was like, wait a minute, but fruit and vegetables are dead also once you pull them from its natural source. Once you pull them from their life source, they're dead as well. So the only thing that's still living once it's pulled from its natural source would be us and animals, because our natural source comes from what? Our mother's placenta. And then once we're disconnected from them, we still have life because mother gave us life. But fruit and vegetables doesn't have that same, growth pattern. And so I got to thinking about that, and I was like, wait a minute, but vegetables are already in a dead state because fruit take time to die, whereas vegetables immediately become dead once it's pulled from its natural state. And so I got to thinking about that, and I started doing my research, and I'm like, but vegetables, honestly speaking, are not natural. They really don't hold any natural benefits. They tell you that certain vegetables hold natural benefits, but they don't hold no more benefits than actually eating meat. And that's not to knock anybody who eats meat and vegetables. I love vegetables, some. But I had to think about the truth. Everything that has life comes from a seed. So therefore, why are we not eating what comes from a seed? Because you can't have life if you don't have seed. And so for me, I said, I'm going to try just the fruit diet, which most of my diet consists of fruit anyway. Very little consists of vegetable, even in my juicing. And so for me, I'm going to try that and see if that will also alkaline my body, rid this mucus and things of that nature, and see if that's something that may be better for my body. So that was just the thought behind that. And so then I got to thinking, okay, well, what am I doing with my coffee? Now, coffee is a fruit. I don't know if you know. It is a fruit. Coffee is a fruit. It comes from a cherry tree. It comes from a cherry. And so the thing about it is the cherry... Really? I thought, now see, I thought they took Dr. Barr off. I thought they took him off of him. Dr. Berg, yeah. I didn't know about the other, Dr. Greger. I've never heard of him. But I know Dr. Berg, they was actually trying to ban him from here off of TikTok. I mean, not TikTok, YouTube. They was trying to get him off of here. So I haven't seen him in years, so I thought he was gone. And I didn't know he was doing a detailed video about that. I'm going to have to check that out, Sean. Hold on, let me screenshot that so I won't forget. Yes, I did not know he was still here because, like I said, I know that he did a video a few years ago talking about how, you know, they had started taking down his videos. They told him he was giving out too much information because, you know, he went holistic. He's a holistic practitioner as well, a holistic doctor, not a practitioner. And so he was, you know, upset with the industry. And so he decided to leave the industry and become holistic. And yeah, they didn't, you know, that pharmaceutical company didn't like that. You know, those insurance companies didn't like that. So he should have known he was going to be a target after that point. But the last time I seen him had to be about a good 3 years ago. And he was talking about how he was, they was trying to take him off of YouTube, and he didn't think he was going to be on there much longer. And I hadn't seen him anymore, so I didn't think he was still here. But I just was, like I said, I was just thinking about that. And so I'm just, like I said, I'm going to try that for myself. I was telling my husband, and I just need to see if that works for me for the sake of my asthma, and see how it does with my weight, because I'm noticing that when I gain weight, that's when I realize that the mucus seems to come back. But when I come back down to not so much my natural size, so my natural size technically is only about 145. I used to be really, really slim. And that's it. That's the one showing. Yes, that's the one right there. Yep, that's it. Oh, okay. That's the one that has to be cooked. Yes, I knew it was a bunch of them. They have to, they're actually not supposed to be eaten raw. And the thing about it is, I was so quick to put broccoli and cauliflower in my salads. What? I love, first of all, I don't like regular lettuce as salads, except for if I'm eating Caesar salad. I like my salads to be kale and spinach. That is the salad that I like. So I was eating it all the time. Now, the thing about it, thank you for dropping them links, Sean. The thing about it, Sean, can you pin that that link, please? The thing about it is that I don't have a thyroid issue, but my mother does. And it actually runs on my mom's side of the family. It's kind of, I hate to use that term because I really don't think things are hereditary. I think it's based off of how you take care of your body. However, there are several women, elders on my mom's side that have had thyroid issues. Some had Graves' disease, or I should say overactive. So for people that don't know what that is, some have overactive, some have underactive. It has been very common. And the interesting thing about that, it has always been with the first daughters in the family. Every time there's a first daughter born, which most of us are born, the first child is usually a girl. It is something that is heavily on my mother's side. My my grandmother's first child, a girl. My great-grandmother's first child, a girl. My great-great-grandmother's first child, a girl. My mom's first child, a girl. My first child, a girl. My sister's first child, a girl. My brother's first child was the only one that had a boy. My daughter's now first child's a girl. It seems to be common on this side of the family. All of my aunt's first children were girls. Only one aunt had a boy, and that's because she only has one child. And it's like, it's so interesting, but 90% of the women on my mom's side of the family, meaning the ones that's older than me, have had some form of thyroid issue. And so when I learned about this about a good 6-7 years ago, I had to tell my mom, you got to stop eating raw vegetables. You need to cook these. And if you can actually eliminate them from your diet, you can actually come off. Girl, Sean. Hold on, y'all need a woosah moment. Spinach is my #1 juicing vegetable. I can juice spinach with nothing else. I can just put one apple and some spinach in, and I can juice that bad buddy and drink it all day long. That right there hurt me when I found out about that, because I was like, really? Really? So what I did is I actually stopped eating them raw because I didn't want to be the next person in the family to have a thyroid issue. Because when I started gaining weight, we couldn't figure out why, because I was so active. I was still active. I was still working out. I was still skating like 4 or 5 times a week, and we couldn't figure out. So I had to be tested myself to make sure I didn't have a thyroid dysfunction. And then what happened was in 2016, it was actually just a few days before Thanksgiving. Actually, I was scheduled to go to Chicago. No, 15, 14, sorry, 14, 15. So 14 or 15, I don't know. I was scheduled to go to Chicago. And I had to call myself, baby, I can't get out there. I am so sick. Like, I was throwing up. I just was sick. Then in seconds, I lost my voice. And I don't know if y'all know that it's a sign as well. I don't know if you know Queen Latifah and Countess Vaughn, both who were singers, ended up having thyroid. They couldn't sing for a while. The difference is Queen Latifah got her voice back, but I don't know if y'all noticed her voice is different. Her talking voice is not the same. Countess Vaughn never got her voice back. Well, guess what? I'm a singer. I'm a gospel singer. I never got my voice back. Now, granted, I stopped singing, but that was one of the reasons why. I mean, I couldn't say I didn't get it back. I did get it back. I was singing again for a while, but then I kind of lost my voice again. But I still have been determined not to have thyroid dysfunction, but we can't figure out why I gained the weight, can't lose it, and we can't figure out why I lost my singing voice. And my voice is usually more raspy, but my voice got a little bit higher. My voice was a little bit lower as far as raspiness. I have a raspy voice like my father. But so for the sake of that, only for the sake of that, I just started, making sure that I was cooking those vegetables so that I wouldn't develop those issues in the future, because I was coming up at that time on 50. So I was like, I don't want to be like them. So I'm going to try that, and I'll keep y'all posted on how that's working out. I know it's going to be a little hard because I definitely love my spinach. I love my kale. I love spinach and kale juice together. I love putting a green pepper, cucumber, which I can still have. I don't know if you know, celery has no benefits other than water content. I think it does have a little bit of K in there. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but celery really, other than that, has no benefits to it other than the water. So it's gonna kind of kick my tail. Right now I got celery and cucumber in the refrigerator now, so I'm gonna finish it all. I got greens in there right now. I'm gonna finish it all. Listen, I know, it's gonna be hard. And I'm not gonna do the blood type. I'm gonna just stick with any fruit that has a seed. Even if it's not for my blood type, I'm just gonna do any fruit that has a seed. So I'm gonna try that and see what happens. Do y'all have any questions? I'm gonna show y'all 2 more things too in a minute. Y'all have any questions? So I also wanted to show y'all, so today's lipstick is cherry red. I don't know, it's backwards. So remember I told you I make my own lipsticks. I broke the top, y'all, so I can't even pull it off and let you see. So this is what I'm wearing today, my cherry red. The only thing is I'm wearing the actual bullet. So I'm not wearing a liquid. The reason why I didn't bring the bullet in here is because I broke the top to that too, and it's worse. So I don't know what I did, but I broke it. So I'm like, really? But I'm wearing the bullet cherry red. And finally, see, Sean, I told you. I can't wait to get the costume. I got my Storm. I am a huge Storm fan, y'all. I got my figurines. Now, my husband says she stands up, or her heels have not been allowing me to stand her up, but I got my figurines. So I got the old Storm and a new Storm. And y'all know this Storm has a new costume. The only thing I'm disappointed with, Monica Rambeau. I think that they should have chose somebody else for the movie. I don't think they should have chose the new girl, but other than that, yeah. But anyway, that's just me. But it is what it is. But I have this costume already. I have this one. I have the black one. I never brought this one. So I wanted to go to Comic-Con in Chicago. It's unfortunately during the same time that Jackson will be giving birth, and I'll be there spending time with my grandbaby. So we'll have to catch another Comic-Con. What I really want to do is go to the one in California, because y'all know that's the largest one. That's even larger. Utah's was okay. Chicago's is absolutely fun, but I want to go to the one in California, because that's the absolutely huge one, and that's what all of the characters are. Yeah, it does. It's because of the water content. It's because of the water. Oh, most definitely. I do. Like I said, I have cucumber in there, and I still like to mix it with my watermelon. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can still do the cucumber. Cucumber is a fruit, so. But I'm like I said, I'm just gonna try it because I need to see if that will help me get this mucus, especially since I'm not taking that new medication, as y'all know, as I shared with y'all about the new medication. And since I'm not taking that new one, that is now leaving me without, that coverage that I need, that actually kept me regular for all these years. And it kept me from being hospitalized. So I'm trying alternative routes because I refuse to take nanoparticle medication. So it is what it is. But yeah, this is how you make kombucha. Tea, sugar, and a starter. That's it. That's it. Any questions, ladies? Do I have a gentleman? I don't want to be disrespectful, because I did see a gentleman pop in. He might have popped out. So what I'm going to do is, Sean, are you going live on Wednesday? So I've decided, because little sis keeps getting on me. Okay. About doing a schedule and sticking to a schedule of going live. So I buckled down and I chose to start going live on Mondays and Thursdays. Yeah, I didn't want to be locked into a schedule, but I was forced to be locked into a schedule, which makes sense because that's how you grow your channel. Okay, great. So you'll be live on Wednesday. Okay, great. Wednesday. All right. And so yeah, look out for Sean's notification of going live on Wednesday as well. But it helps you grow your channel. So that's what I'm doing. Actually, I'm in the process of digitalizing that planner. So bear with me, because I didn't know I was going to have to go through every sale of the planner. I didn't know I was going to have to edit every single sale. And that's 120 pages front and back. So technically it's double that. So I didn't know that's what I had to do to digitalize that doggone planner. So I was like, nobody didn't tell me that. So Thursday, now Thursday, I think I'm going to make it a little bit later. I was thinking about going Thursday about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think I'll leave Mondays for 4 p.m. and then make Thursdays about 7. It just depends, because the problem is that kind of runs into the time that I have to leave out. I typically leave here at like 6. I may have to push it to 8. I may have to push it to 8 o'clock. But look between like 7 or 8, because I'm usually not in the home until about 7. So, but I usually I'll set up before I leave and see. But yeah, so it'll be from now on Mondays and Thursdays. And then I'll go ahead and do a post putting the scheduled times up. And anytime I have to change it, I'll do plenty of time to let you know that I'm changing it. So, well, with that being said, I certainly appreciate you guys. I hope y'all learn how to make kombucha. We'll go over this process again when we come back and do part 2. We'll talk about part 1 again, just to refresh it. And if you want to get started, like I said, make sure that you just have your glass instruments. Get yourself some cheesecloth. It works best to me. Some little twine that because you're gonna throw this away. You're not gonna keep that twine or anything to wrap around there. When I used to be in Utah, I actually crocheted a string. I took cotton yarn and crocheted a string because I didn't want to buy twine. So thank you. And just get yourself some sugar and your teas. If you want to do a combination or if you want to do one. But you're just going to brew your tea on the stove, let it come all the way down to room temperature. You can put your sugar in there while it's hot so it can melt the sugar. But you have to let it come down to room temperature, because if you put your SCOBY in while it's hot, you've automatically killed off your SCOBY. You literally killed it. A SCOBY cannot be hot and it cannot be cold. It must stay room temperature. And I forgot to say that part. I do apologize. But with that being said, there's nothing else. I'm gonna go ahead and see you guys later. I'll see you on Thursday. Like I said, I certainly appreciate you taking the time out of your day and coming over and supporting my live. And don't forget to follow Sean and all of her channels as well, here on YouTube and TikTok. You know, she's been abandoning TikTok, but even on TikTok. Don't forget to join her Facebook group as well. She does have a Facebook group on YouTube as well. Sean, Facebook, sorry. Drop that right quick, Sean. And Sean also has a membership program. Please join the membership program. She has many levels that will be based off your needs. And pretty soon what I'm going to do, and I will tell y'all this part, I'm going to start having my own Zoom classes because I was asked about sewing. And I was asked about sewing. So what I think I'm gonna, well, what I was sharing, actually, I ran this by Sean, you know, to help you out because we bounce off of each other with things and help each other so we can help each other grow and things of that nature. And she has things, I have things. You know, it's always good to have somebody that you can, you know, bounce things off with so you can grow together and, you know, and grow together and grow apart and still, you know, have your own identity. Yeah, there's our Facebook group for anybody who wants to join her Facebook group. There's a lot of good gems over there as well. And so now I don't have a Facebook group though. But I am on Facebook. My business page is on there as well. But I am going to start doing sewing classes. So I am going to be getting that garage right there together really soon. As I told my husband, I have got to do that out in the garage. I am not doing that in the house. And so I need to buy one more table so that I can at least use that and I can fold that one up and put it out the way. But I'm going to be doing Zoom classes. They're probably not going to start though until March. Reason being is because I will not be doing lives like that come February the 16th up until approximately March the 16th. Because I will be having my first grandbaby. I am going to go home to be with my daughter so I can be there at the birth of my grandbaby. Of course, she wants her mother there. And I need to spend some time, some bonding time with her as well. And so I'm going to take some time and spend some time with her. That's kind of cool. That's cool. I like that. And so I'll be away from, I mean, I'll pop in and stuff like that, but I won't be going live. I am taking products home to sale, so we'll be shipping from Delaware. I'm not, my website is not going to shut down or anything like that. I'll be taking my equipment to still ship products out and things of that nature. I just won't be really doing many lives. I won't really have a reason to do live. I may do some to come on and chit chat, but that's pretty much it. Because I do have to take that time. It's important to me, excuse me, y'all, to be there because this is my first grandbaby that I've been begging for over 20 years. And so, but I'm going to be taking that time, you know, to help my daughter. This is her first baby. You know, she's been around babies, but, you know, it's always different when it's your own. And so, so thank you. I'm so excited. Y'all don't understand. I never wanted to be anything but, after having them, raising them, a grandmother. I've been wanting to be a grandmother for a very long time. And I'm finally getting my wish come true. So, and I'm going to be wearing my Gammy shirt. Real proud. I'll be walking around like this, real proud. So, but yeah, so I'll be stepping away because I'll be leaving, you know, soon. So I'll be stepping around. Pretty much I'll be stepping away on the 15th, I should say. The 15th will probably be the last time I'll be, you know, doing some lives until March. So when I come back, and what I'll do is I'll be putting stuff together while I'm gone. So getting the Zoom all set up and things like that so we can start sewing. But we're not even going to start with a bag or a pillow or anything like that. We're actually going to start with a piece of clothing. I think that is the best place to start. Even if you're a beginner. And so we'll do that, but we'll do that on Zoom. It will be paid because it will be on Zoom and I will have to pay for that as well. But because we need to get back to sewing. We need to get back to wearing things with our name on it and not, you know, with everybody else's name on it, making them rich and looking like everybody else. So, but that's coming down the pipeline. That's in the works as well. So I'm excited about that. And so, but thank you all. I love you. And I'm going to go ahead and call it quits now. You enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you in the next live. Bye now.